Welcome to Elementary Python for CBSE. Today we are going to discuss stacks. We know stack is a linear data structure. It is a special kind of list where elements are added and removed from one end called the top of the stack. In a stack, the last element to be added is the first to be removed because the elements are added or removed from only one end, that is the top of the stack, and hence it is known as a LIFO list or last in first out list or LIFO data structure. It is a linear data structure, that means elements can be accessed sequentially one after another. Basically, there are three different operations. First is called push, which means to insert an element at the top of the stack. The second is pop, that means to remove an element from the top of the stack. And the third is traverse, that is to process each element of the stack at least once. We can find example of stack in day-to-day life. Books or plates, they are kept one above another. Suppose we have kept book inside some box, then it is not possible for us to get the last book without removing the books from the top. That is why we can say in stacks the items they can be removed from the top. Also we can add more books at the top only. Addition and removal takes place from one end. If we consider a stack of plates, suppose, then the push operation can be performed like this. So this is one after another we are adding on the plates. When somebody will take the plates from the stack, it will be removed from the top itself or taken from the top itself. Now while performing operation on stacks, we have to consider two conditions, that is underflow condition and overflow condition. Stacks are implemented using list, hence the overflow condition generally does not occur, and it may occur only in case of memory shortage. So what is overflow condition? Overflow condition means if you try to add an element to a stack when it is full and there is no space. Python lists are dynamic and we can add elements without defining any size for it. Size is not fixed. We can add any number of elements. Generally overflow condition does not occur until and unless there is no shortage of memory. However, we have to check the underflow condition when we want to remove an element. This occurs when we try to remove an element from an empty stack. That means there is no element and we try to remove elements. This will result in error. We can implement a stack using a Python list because list is a linear data structure and stack is also a linear data structure, and we can define the push, pop and traverse operation using various list method or by writing code. Push operation can be implemented by inserting an element at the end of the list, and pop operation can be implemented by removing the element at the last index. So let us see how we can implement this push, pop and traversal operations. Here we have defined the push operation where we have passed the stack which is implemented as a list and the item to be inserted. We have simply used the append method to add it to the end of the list. In case of pop method, we are checking whether the stack is empty or not. If not, then we are using the pop method which will remove the element at the last index and it will also return the element. And finally we are implementing traversal where we are traversing the element or displaying the elements from the last index to the first index. So that is why the last index is n-1, or we may also start from -1 and go up to minus of length. Here we have written a menu driven program with three menu options for push, pop and traversal. We want to continue it till we want to perform the operations, so we have put it on a loop. As long as we specify yes to continue, this push, pop and traversal operations will continue. So for choice 1, we are asking the value of the element to be inserted, and then we are invoking the push method by passing the list and the item to be inserted. We may enter any number of elements and push it onto the stack. Then finally we are displaying the stack. For option 2, we are calling the pop method and displaying the value that is removed. And option 3, we are calling the traversal method that will display the elements. Let us run this program and see how the output appears. The output will appear like this. This is our program. Let us run it. Initially it has presented a menu with the choices push, pop and traversal. Suppose I give the choice as 1 to push an item. It asks me to enter an element to insert. Suppose I give 10. Then it displays me the top element is now 10. We want to insert. Yes, I want to insert more elements. So I give the next element to be 20. Now the top element is 20. Yes, I want to insert it again. Element I insert is say 30, and that's all. I don't want to insert anymore. I want to perform another operation. Yes, want to continue with another operation. Yes, I want to continue. So it has created the stack as this. Stack is now 10, 20, 30. So the last element we have inserted is at the last index. Now yes, I want to perform another operation. I want to traverse the list, that is 3. You can see that it has displayed the elements in the backward direction, that is from the last element to the first index. Now yes, I want to perform another operation. Suppose I want to remove an element, that is perform the pop operation. The top element 30 is removed. It has popped top element and it has displayed the element. Now suppose we want to view the stack again. I give the choice as 3, 30 is removed, so now it is having only 20 and 10. We don't want to continue anymore. I can give no. It will terminate the program and display the end message. This way we can implement the push, pop and traversal operations as a menu driven program. Let us now see some application of stacks. Stacks have many applications in our day-to-day life. We have just discussed an example of book and another example of plates. We have seen how to insert and remove plates, and let us now see where we can find the application of stacks. The simple example is we can reverse a string using a stack. Push operation will insert the string or store the string, and the pop operation will reverse it. We also find the use of stacks in recursion, that is, each recursive call to the function adds or pushes a stack frame, and when the results are returned, stack frames are removed or popped. Stacks also find their use in conversion and evaluation of postfix expressions, which are very helpful in evaluating expression very quickly. We don't have to bother about the precedence of operators once it is in postfix, as the postfix expression itself takes care of the precedence of the operators. So let us see how we can use a stack to reverse a string. Reading characters of the string pushes characters onto the stack, and pop operation helps us in getting the string in reverse order. Suppose we want to reverse the string hello. HELLO will be pushed. So this way each character is pushed onto the stack one after another. Now we will see how we pop. When we pop element, the character from the top will be removed. So first O will be removed, and then L, then E and H. So we get the reverse of the string. So you have seen how we got the reverse of the string by popping the elements. Let us now see how stack frames are used in recursion. Each recursive call to a function adds a stack frame, and when the results are returned, stack frames are removed. So let us consider sum of natural numbers up to 4. Sum of natural numbers up to 4 can be computed by adding 4 to sum of natural numbers up to 3. It has now added one more frame because we have one more call to the same function. Now sum of natural numbers up to 3 can be computed by adding 3 to sum of natural numbers up to 2. So another frame will be added for this. Similarly, sum of natural numbers can be computed by adding 2 to sum of natural numbers up to 1. Now, sum of natural numbers up to 1 will return 1. So, as we get the result 1, it will be added to 2 and one stack frame will be removed. So, sum of natural numbers up to 1, this call to this function will return 1. Now 1 will be added to 2 and this stack frame will be removed. As the result 3 will be returned to the previous call. So now in place of sum of natural numbers up to 2, we have got the return value, that is 3. Now this value will be added and it will be replaced for the function called sum of number up to 3. And the stack frame will be removed. Sum 4 plus 6 will be calculated and it will be replaced with the function call for sum of natural numbers up to 4, and another stack frame will be removed. Now the last one is the result. That's all for stacks. We will see some more on data structures in the next class. Thank you.